welcome. Look at that. It's Marsola on the camera. It's not me. Let's flip over to camera one here. Hello, there I am. Oh, it's a fun night. It's a fun night. Hello and welcome to The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains' worldwide brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. Guys, this is going to be a fun night for a couple of reasons, really, because, well, it's episode 80, so we're trucking along. Before long, here, September, we're going to be at episode 100. Really good things planned for that. We've got a special announcement tonight for those of you who are watching live. This will be really cool. For those of you who are watching later, not so much. Not going to be so much cool with this little thing we're going to do. And if you're listening in one of the regular audio podcast platforms, it's going to be a little even less interesting because you're just going to hear stuff. But that's going to make you want to get over to YouTube and check it out. So do that. Tonight, episode 80, we have in studio Mr. Daniel Marsola, the man, the myth, the legend, the owner of the Bat Cave out in California. Those of you who know, you know. And those of you who don't know, I'm sorry, you just don't know. But I'm really excited. So he is here in town. We're going to talk a little bit about why he's in town, but he's here visiting in Indiana. He strolled on up the little coastal roadway here. We call it the coastal roadway because it goes up the side of our state. Goes up to Chicago. He was visiting the brothers of BVC. On his way back down toward Indianapolis, he's going to swing by here in the studio. He's live. He and his beautiful wife. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff. Now, where can we start this episode? First things first. I want to talk about a couple of chapter things that are going on. Different chapters still are trying to raise a little bit of money for some different events. And so let's real quick talk about those. I'm going to bring these up on the camera, on the screen here. Just a quick reminder about this here. The Chapterless Brothers in Hungary are doing a autism awareness patch. They actually sent me this patch. I got it just a couple of days ago. Really, really cool. It's so simple and beautiful, and I'm so lucky that I'm very honored that they sent this to me. They're going to be still trying to collect funds and selling these patches until May 25th. So keep your eyes out. Try to get over there and help these guys out. They're 15 euros a piece, and I wish I found a way to pronounce this guy's IG handle because our brother has a beautiful one, but I can't pronounce it. I'm terrible. Most of you know that with the accents. So it's at TOJASLEVES1 on IG. So hit up that brother and get one of these really cool patches. Awesome stuff that they're doing. Also, don't forget about the patches and merch for DSV5 coming up around the corner. DSV5. We've got a North and we've got a South MS patch here. One's gold, one's silver. They're $8 a piece. And on top of that, check this out. I've shown this before. I can't believe how many options there are. They've got like 30 different shirt options here, guys. Who knows? You know, they've got short sleeves, they've got raglans, they've got all sorts of cool stuff. And the funny thing is, they're all $20. So even us fat boy sizes, they're only $20. So hey, gotta love it. $20. Grab a couple of these shirts. They have the really cool Back to the Juke Joint logo that they've created for DSV5. So cool. But check those things out. Get over there. They are located at the North Mississippi website, I believe. So that's that. Also, please do not forget, we are trying to raise money for our brother in Louisiana, Anthony, we're trying to raise money for a service dog for him. And they have a crawfish boil coming up on May 2nd, but they're also receiving funds for the ability for people that cannot make it. If you want to PayPal, Venmo, there is information there on the screen for that. So do not forget about that. All right. Well, I want to say hi real quick to a few people who are here live because we've got a bunch of very talkative people in our chat room. And of course, we always say it's the first person here every single day, Rob. Rob with two B's, how are you doing? Good afternoon, good evening to you. Josh stepped in, says, what up, family? The bearded Irishman came in apparently twice, maybe on 2 accounts. I'm not sure how that happened. But you're listed in here twice, Mr. Irishman. We are excited to see you tomorrow as well down in Indy. Yo. Mr. Baby Glock. How you doing, Brian? Good to see you. Good to see you. He is part of my special announcement coming up in just a little bit that I'll be sharing with you guys. So, but he's very, very happy with it as I understand it. Nick, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. There's the Bearded Irishman with what looks like maybe a third account. I'm not sure how many accounts you're trying to run one over on us. Hillbilly, how you doing, buddy? Snowden, how you doing? How you doing? The Lakeshore Villains. Well, apparently we have all the Lakeshore Villains tuning in because somebody's in charge of their account and they're tuning in. So we like that. That's pretty cool. I have a really good idea who that person is. Jay, how are you doing? Jay says, hey, folks, we are out driving. Took Sharissa for her birthday dinner. Happy birthday, Sharissa. How you doing? How you doing? Hopefully Jay continues to treat you well, and if not, I know you can handle it otherwise. So happy birthday, Sharissa. Marcelo, it looks like Marcelo got off of the chapter page and came on live, so very cool. Sharissa stopped in. Kevin, world is ours. He loves that song, doesn't he? Loves that song. Chris, how you doing? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Mr. Towers, how are you doing? How you doing? And hey, what's up? All right. So, guys, this is episode 80, and we have a special guest here we're going to talk to in just a few minutes. And we're going to be, chit-chatting about his life and all things that are BV. And here, I'll let him say a little bit hi and turn over to his camera here for a second. Mr. Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you for having me here, man.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I can't wait to hear and let other people hear about, because this is, how many times, is this your second or third trip back to Indiana?
Second.
Okay. He's a California boy. And
long way from home.
Long way from home. But we are so proud, so honored that you're here. He came into town to see a bunch of people, but also to take part in the MS walk down in Indianapolis this week. So very, very cool stuff. And in this seat right here that is vacant, we will see his lovely bride. Megan is going to step in there in just a few minutes. And we're going to talk to her about a very cool project that she is doing as well, that is supporting not only her efforts in schooling and her desire for photography and everything that is, but also it's kind of a cool little nod to Bearded Villains that she's doing. So there's a teaser on that. All right. So all of the YouTube people just got to watch for that 30-second clip an empty chair. They just sat and looked at an empty chair while I was talking off camera. That was fun. Well, hey, be nice to me, guys. This is the first time we've had an in-studio guest, and I'm trying to work around it. We're trying to make this thing work. So, yeah. All right. So let me do this. Before we get into our guests, I want to do a world premiere. I don't have a world premiere sound. Do I have a world premiere sound? No, I don't. I don't have a world premiere sound. I should get a world premiere sound effect. Something that's bump. We got the Law and Order sound, but I don't want to be. I don't want to take a hit on YouTube if I try to play that, so I won't do that. We'll just do this. Yay! Everybody that's here live in the studio, they don't all have headphones on, so they didn't hear any of that, and they just see me reacting to weird sound effects. It's pretty funny. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. I've never had anybody down here while I'm doing this except for the random child of mine that comes down to check things out. So I'm talking to this camera randomly, and everybody looking around going, what's he doing? This is because they can't. All they hear is me talking to a TV, to a monitor. Pretty funny stuff. Okay, guys. So let's do this. Okay, I'm getting waved down about something.
I think you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble? Am I in trouble?
I think you might have done something wrong.
That's nothing new. I'm frequently in trouble here at the house. That's why the studio's in the basement. So, okay. So I can play this for you guys while I tell you the quick story. As you know, as many of you know, one of my goals for this year was to create a documentary film talking about the Bearded Villains and the question of what are the Bearded Villains? Who are they? And some of you have been around my YouTube channel now for over a year. If you've been around, you may have noticed that I put out a video, a very bad video, I think, looking back on hindsight. I was pretty proud of it back then, but it's terrible. So don't go watch that. But there's a video out on the YouTube channel that asks that question, who are the bearded villains? And it's just me sitting down at a table and with a little slideshow over my shoulder saying, this is the bearded villains. No, terrible. So I wanted to do it in a film format where I have interviews and the whole thing. And so the plan here is over the course of this next year to finalize this and get an actual documentary short film created to answer those questions. Who are the bearded villains? What are they all about? And so in that effort, I have used an interview that I had from earlier this year with our brother Skip and created this teaser trailer to let some of you who have questions understand what this is about. Maybe stir up a little bit of anticipation and some excitement for when this comes out. If you're watching on YouTube right now, great. If you're listening on a podcast platform, get over to YouTube to watch this because this is the cool stuff. All right. So I'm going to now play for you the world premiere of my documentary film, to be decided on a name later. So that. Okay.
Before I became a villain, I was a drug addict, alcoholic, a felon. I had been in a lot of trouble, and I've built a lot of bonds in this brotherhood. But that one moment in my life, I look back in my career now and the success that I have, and this life that I'm living now, that I'm so blessed and lucky to live with. And I think back about, yes, my sobriety was important. And, yes, these people forgave me for the damage I caused, but I think about Marvin, and I think about how Marvin gave me that one shot, and that one shot changed my life. He will always be more than a villain to me.
And there you have it. That was the world premiere of the trailer, the teaser trailer of Who Are the Bearded Villains, or whatever we're going to call it down the road. But hopefully that lets people understand what it is I'm looking for and where I'm going to be aiming for this thing. Now, let's get into a little chit chat with our special guests here live in the studio, Mr. Daniel. Oh, look at that. It's a split screen. Look at that. I love it. Both of them on one camera shot. Very nice to see. Daniel and Megan, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Goodness.
Good.
All right. I got to make sure your mic's turned up. Okay, good. So, as we do that, I'm going to slide my little system down here. All right. So, how's things?
Going good. Going good, man.
You are here here with us because what did you come into town for?
I came here for the MS walk. I joined maybe about a month, 2 months maybe, and weren't actually sure if we were gonna make it. It was just signed up to help raise money.
Yeah.
And then here we are. It all just worked out.
It's awesome. I mean, anytime you're able to come over to another chapters, especially the distance that you are, and just make it a vacation time, that's awesome to see. But I do want to touch real quick on a very cool honor that you were bestowed yesterday. First ever as far as Bearded Villains of Indiana is concerned. Tell everybody about what happened yesterday.
So yesterday, I met with some of the boys, and we have, eating dinner, having a couple of drinks, and Joe and Hawksby take off. They come back, and of course, I have no idea what's going on. And he comes back and gives a little speech and makes me the first honorary BVIN member.
Very, very cool.
Very, very humbling.
It's one of those things that you never knew. You don't expect it, obviously, and when a chapter's never done something like that before,
Right.
Pretty cool stuff. You've been a part of Bearded Villains now since 2015. You said
2015, yeah, March 5th.
Okay.
2015.
So, what was life like for you before Bearded Villains, and then how did you end up finding Bearded Villains?
They found me.
Okay.
Yeah, they was weird. They just sent me a message telling me what they're trying to start. And then we had a couple of conversations, and maybe 2 weeks later, they sent me a prospect patch, right, which is now the villain, of course.
Right.
But yeah, no idea what it was. So I never posted it because I didn't know what this was. I needed to look more into this. And yeah, now we're, 6 years in?
Yeah, no kidding. And so for those who are not aware, what he's referring to is the days of the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
That's what all the people that were around BV back in 2015, 2014 have always talked about.
Is that what you guys call it now?
I've been told that that's what everybody refers to it as, the Wild Wild West, because it was a time where everybody was trying to figure out what BV was, and nobody really knew other than, hey, let's take some pictures and post them on Instagram and kind of GQ style, And I will say, from what I have seen, all of you guys that were some of the people that came in the 2014, 2015, first half of 2015 timeframe, master photographers, it seemed like, or had somebody that really knew how to do some cool edits or something, because the photos that came out of that time period that originated what BV has become, at least from a photo side, you always go back and there's still some of the best photos now, even 6 years later, that people had.
It wasn't always like that. I just think we've gone through all the stages. So I think we've kind of mastered the photography.
Okay.
At the beginning, I don't think they were great.
Well, I've seen some that were really impressive, like a whole slew of them. And those, like I said, those are the ones that, as you said, you were approached. Did they just see stuff that you were posting? Is that kind of what happened? Or did you know somebody did they just randomly hit you up out of the blue?
Randomly. It had to be the beard. I'm sure they were just searching.
So you were posting on Instagram.
Yeah, I was on there.
Okay. And then somebody just saw, were you doing some weird hashtag about bearded man or?
I might have.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of creepy how somebody just found you out that way. Then
it was like some random club, and it's like, hey, you want to be part of the club? And I'm like, what is this?
Or an offshoot of the Illuminati. You never know. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Hence why I held off posting a patch to some club that I wasn't sure about.
Smart. Okay. I understand now. I understand that. So here we are now, 5 years after the fact, 6 years later for BV, in all intents and purposes. And because you're in the state where BV originated, there's several chapters. How many we got out there in California now? Do you know?
There is. So we got NorCal, San Cal, Ventura, LA, San Diego, and IE. So 6.
Okay. Yeah. So, but it's a big state. But you're kind of in the hub of everything that is BV out there, in more ways than one. We'll get into that in just a second. But what's it been like for you being out there, being kind of where everything started and originated, and seeing the growth that BV's become since you started out in 2015?
It's to what it is now is never expected.
Yeah.
Like and then like once it started catching on, and it was like, oh, we had access to everything that everyone else was seeing on Instagram and didn't believe was real, or like, who are these people? Fred and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had him right there, and we like first ones, get the flag. So
Yeah.
it was an experience back then. Like we seen, because we had a bunch of meetings. Fred was always there, and we did a bunch of meetings where he would tell us, like, you did like the photo shoot, that was your task, and then it went to charity, and then it kind of died. It went to task 2 and just kind of stopped, and just now it's insane. Like,
Yeah, one of the things that I love that story, and I refer to it. I've talked about this, a few different times in different podcast episodes that we've had. But I love when you look at like the BV story as a whole, from its inception. I love how it was originally thought to be one thing, and because of the membership, because of the brothers that took part and started taking leadership roles, it took on this whole different charity vibe that was never even seen
right.
In the beginning.
Yeah, that was task 2. It was a task, and now it seems like a lot of people, that's the goal. Like, and that's awesome.
So when you say task, so originally there were Fred, VK came down with some orders.
Task, yeah. The first task was, the photo shoot. Once you had the chapter, you had your 5 guys, or however many you wanted to have. More than after that. Your first task was to get a photo shoot.
Okay.
Dressed up, nice, and that was with the flag. And he personally brought the flags to us. I think we did it in Huntington Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the flag shoot done, and then task 2 is what?
Task 2 was charity.
Now, how was that brought to you? What did he say? Just do something with charity?
It was actually after the flag shoot. We went and we had drinks and some food, and he was up there giving a speech, talking to all of us, and he brought it up. He's like, okay, well, task 1 is a photo shoot. He's like, task 2, I want you guys to give back, like, do something, some kind of charity work. I want you to get involved with something. And then he said it just steamrolled from there.
What do you remember? What the first charity thing was that you did?
What's the first one?
First one.
Take it back a ways.
I believe the kidney walk.
Was it?
Or the chalk walk.
I think it was definitely a walk. It was a chalk or kidney.
Okay, all right.
So it was just something simple to kind of ease into it.
Sure, yeah. Dip your foot lightly in the pool
Right,
for
it's
it
like,
to
wait a
see.
minute. Yeah.
Was that weird? Now we're seeing it's a little bit less weird, but it is still weird for some guys when they start up a new chapter in different areas that have never heard of BV. But was that weird being, in those first few steps for all of BV, getting out and being like, hey, we want to do a charity thing, and by the way, we're not as scary as we look? Or was there a little bit of a push off by people at the time, or did they just have lots of questions about what you were all about?
Yeah, well, I guess there was people following, because it was funny, because before he even gave us the charity task, when we were taking our photo shoot, there was people that were coming. I think they were from like Hawaii or something. They were at the beach, and they seen the shirts, because we all had the BV shirts, and they knew about it. I don't know how. I was just like, we're just taking pictures, that's it. But yeah, the charity, you get a lot of questions like, why are you doing this? Like, are you trying to cover something? Is there some kind of, kind of facade here?
Are you doing community service?
Right. Like, what is this?
I've actually been asked that before, but when we were at a restaurant.
Right. Like, you look that way.
Yeah.
Some of you are intimidating. What is this for? Like, you trying to cover up other stuff you're doing, or
right? Yeah. Just trying to put on a persona that's not real.
Right.
Yeah. So then you've done 5 years of BV events and a variety of different things. What was if you were to look back on any specific, like if somebody were to ask you, what was the coolest thing that you witnessed as a bearded villain? Can you think back to any 1 or 2 things that just kind of stick out? Because you've been around a bit.
Been around a bit. It was probably, I'd say, the second World Meet, which was in Vegas, because you got to meet other people outside your local area that you talk to every day. So like, you talk to people on Instagram, you carry on conversations, but now to finally meet that person, shake their hand, have a drink with them, that was real awesome experience there. It brings it to reality.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah. my first world meet was Puerto Rico. And was that your first world meet then for the Las Vegas, or did you?
Yeah, it was the second Vegas one because the first two were in Vegas.
Okay. All right. So the first time you did that, was that like your aha moment as far as personally goes, that, wow, this is an amazing thing that I'm a part of, to see that? Or had you already kind of decided that?
It was somewhat decided because the people that I've met locally, like a lot of them are great friends to me still. Like even guys who aren't in the club anymore, great friends still. So, I mean, that was kind of like okay, this could be something. And then going there and then meeting people that you never seen from across the country or wherever, and they act like they've known you forever.
Yeah. I love that part of it. I love that part. The first time, and BV is full of huge personalities in some ways, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And then we have the guys that kind of lay back. It's always funny when those big people come in, and it's almost like somebody throws the saloon doors
like a
open.
rock star just walked in the building, right?
Yeah. And what's funny is it's rarely that way for the people that know that person, but the people that only know that person from everything that is Instagram,
Right.
they like, there's like hush, there's whispers. Oh my gosh, he's here! Look out! I can't believe that he's here.
Is that him over there? Yeah.
Is that really him? That looks just like him. He's always wearing the,
I'm gonna go take a picture with him.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guilty. There's this very specific person that we're probably thinking of, that, yeah, he looks the same way every place. Heart of gold. But we have a bunch of those really cool personalities. And that's one of my favorite parts about it, is just to meet the people in all different walks of life. And for me, that's one of the things that, when I do this documentary thing, that I'm really excited about, because in the years that I've been a part of it already, I've met people that there was absolutely no way that I would know them otherwise.
Right.
From all the different walks of life that, people come from. I would never know half the people that I know in BV otherwise.
I would never be out here in Indy for an MS walk.
He'd be like, who wants to go to Indiana? Ever. Ever. Yeah, that's the way people out in California think of us sometimes. Come on. There's more than corn in Indiana. But awesome. Well, one of the last things I would like to specifically ask you about was, since you have been a part of BV, as I said, for so long, when you see new guys come in, and it seems like it comes in droves. It's like there's one or two guys, and then you'll see 10 come in into a fold with a new chapter, or they hit you up on Instagram all of a sudden, and you're like, damn, this guy's like 5 followers. He just must have started yesterday or something. And it's funny because you hear these are like the 15, 20 guys you need to make sure, in other states you need to get first, to like and follow them. But for these new guys that are coming in and seeing things, what would you say to some of them about how to really cherish and really take everything out of what they can with this BV journey?
Say, don't come in with expectations or like wanting something. Come in and just enjoy your experience, man. Talk to people, reach out, talk to them. I mean, that's how it pretty much started. Like, we were just DMing random people, like, oh, I see you got this patch, then you just start talking from there. And I mean, you build all kinds of amazing,
Yeah. I love that's great advice, because I hate to say it, but there's a contingent of people out there that, even though they know that there's the patches out there, and it's all about, I want to get that patch tomorrow, and then 2 weeks from then I want to get that other patch, and I want to do, and they miss everything.
Yeah, you're not focused on the right thing.
Yeah.
And if you're coming in for patches, you're not going to be here long anyways. What happens when you get everything?
Yeah,
You're gone.
exactly. Yeah. Get everything inside of a year and a half, and then what? Or 2 years now.
Yeah, and
then see ya. No.
Enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I would much rather not get any and be able to enjoy everything that we have, to see the brothers that are out there.
Like, this is what matters.
Yeah.
Sitting here with you right now.
This
is what matters.
In the studio,
This is
hanging
what
out in
matters.
Indiana, northern Indiana.
You don't get a patch for this.
The end of
just so you
April.
know.
Well, I could probably find one. No.
Make one.
Yeah.
Can we get that
honey,
works?
I need to make a new patch. It only cost a couple $100 because I'm not going to be selling them. They're going to be gift patches. So I'm telling my wife this from across the room right now, and she's just smiling at me, shaking her head. And sadly, she probably knows I'm going to do it anyway and ask for forgiveness later. But She says, true story, true story.
Yep, we've all been there.
So, Daniel, I'm going to pivot for just a second over to your better half next to you. Megan,
Ooh.
you are the photographer extraordinaire that comes into play when we have anybody that visits what we refer to as the Bat Cave.
Yes.
That's when a lot of people have their first contact with you.
Pretty much, yeah.
And we're going to go back to Daniel in just a second talking about that. But you're doing something really cool, and I'm going to share this with everybody that's watching because I think it's a really cool idea. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, you're going to see there's a website that's up, and I will put a link in this, or you can just hit up Daniel or Megan to find out more about it. But she's going to tell us a little bit about this project she's doing, and right now it looks to be all specifically bearded villains related.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
She didn't want to do anybody else. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. But she's doing a very cool film project, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about this because I think it's super duper cool for us to learn a little bit about this. So, Megan, tell us what you're doing.
So I'm currently working on my MFA in photography, and the goal is to do a end thesis project that you have to submit to receive the degree. So I was thinking about all these different projects that I can start with, and then one day I was just talking to Daniel, and I was like, what if I document the guys? Like, all these guys come to the house, we go to all these events, we do all this stuff, why don't I just document them? So it started off just documenting, everybody coming over, things like that, and then going on with school and getting into the project, I have to put more, into like what exactly you're doing and why are you doing this and what kind of project is this. So my end goal is to create a photo book for my thesis project. My title currently right now is called Bearded America, so focusing on bearded men within America. A new generation of social clubs, because my goal was so the project was starting off to look at social clubs, bearded social clubs. So it wouldn't just be bearded villains, maybe, some other clubs. But when I got approval for my project, COVID hit. Oh. So I was only limited to the bearded villains that would come over or that I already had images of. So I just turned it into a project about bearded villains. So that's where I'm at now. The project's going to be divided into different sections, basing it off of what I call the fundamentals of the club.
Okay.
So brotherhood, loyalty, family, charity, and I'm going to do a chapter on members.
Awesome. So
I'm doing portraits of certain members that I have portraits of, and the captions will be their bios.
Oh, wow.
So I currently have Marcus from Texas. Well, what chapter is he in?
He was in Dallas.
He was in Dallas, and now he's
for a while. Now he's in nowhere, I don't believe.
Okay, so I have him starting off with a picture with the flag, the BV flag, and his bio, who he was, why he joined BV, what year he joined BV. So it's like a mini interview.
Very
but
cool.
I give him the questions and he writes it and sends it to me. And then I have some other guys, Daniel, of course, in a lot of my pictures. But it's just, so I start off, so the way I have it set up right now is to start off with that, highlight some members, go into some images of family, so with, the children, with the wives, the girlfriends, the support system that BB comes with. Yeah. And charity events, getting some of those now that some of them are currently going on. And then the overall loyalty, focusing on the tattoos. So all the men that have received tattoos,
Very
document
cool.
that. And then brotherhood, focusing on like groups of the men like interacting with each other, that whole brotherhood vibe and aspect of it. So that's where I'm at with the project now. It's all going to be in black and white because for me, I feel like that's the best way to highlight these men and kind of you're focusing more on what's going on in the image and not necessarily like their individual personalities.
Okay.
It's everything. So black and white tends to kind of help with that. If I were to do in color, you kind of would focus on other things. So the black and white is the way I'm going about it.
Yeah.
It's a photo documentary project.
So cool. So cool. The images that I'm going to, and like I said, I'm going to share this. I'm going to share the website that she's got set up for it. Is this going to be a active website, like
Yes.
as you go through the project,
So
it's going to be continuous?
That is my website. It's in the process right now because I'm currently taking a business class, so I had to change it up to be like a maternity, newborn photographer, because that was like something I did for my class. But I do have a section on there that's just for projects, and this project is one of the projects that I started and continue doing.
Everybody that's watching, I'm going to have this on there. I'm going to have a link on here for you that you can go check this thing out because it's so cool. And what she says is spot on. Black and white photography, there's nothing like it. And my goal is also with my documentary, the still photos that I'm going to be shooting or that I'm going to be using are going to be black and white, with the exception of maybe a couple that have some sort of a highlighted color or something else, just to make it pop. But the if you know anything about photography, there's just a look. There's a way that, and you'd probably agree that there's something to black and white photos that just they transport you, and they're timeless.
Yes,
And it doesn't matter when it was taken.
It's just the whole way that black and white kind of captures that moment, and that's my goal, is to capture that moment and document what's going on in that moment, because these are things that are going to be on forever. And I come from a research background because I have a master's in Mexican American Studies.
Okay.
And so I did a research project on social media. So my whole thing was to kind of tie in the social media aspect, and then go on with this project with how social media brought these men together, because they all had one common goal, interest, was that beard. And
We're all tired of shaving.
Yeah, exactly.
so like that led to this, and then so it goes into all this different things. And also highlighting some of the men that are photographers. Like there's a lot of them that have developed this like sense of photography just for being part of the group.
Yeah, there's a handful of them out there that they're crazy good, and it's just a hobby for them.
Yeah.
And you can tell immediately when, oh my God, this guy's, did you hire something out for this, or did you? Oh no, I did.
I always ask him, I'm like, who took his photos?
Yeah.
Those are really
Well, don't sell yourself short, because, and everybody that's watching this, you're going to see at her website some amazing photos with incredible depth. You've got a really good eye, and very cool to see. So, we mentioned a little bit about this, the hobbyist photography part that you do at the home.
Yes.
You are. I always say my wife is a saint of a woman for putting up with me, but you have to be an incredible saint of a woman to put up with everything that comes to your house, because it's not always good.
No, but there's so many amazing men that I have met and are just awesome. Like I can have conversations with them, sit there and talk to them for hours, and just like they're, just because of him being part of this club, I've met so many great people. And then when they come over to the house, it's like having family there.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So what we're referring to, for those of you who don't know, is affectionately known as the Bat Cave out in Los Angeles. Is it technically Los Angeles? I think I would refer to it as Los Angeles.
We're Los Angeles County.
Los Angeles County. Okay. So, but he is the owner of the Bat Cave, and he refers to it affectionately as it's just a garage.
Just a garage.
It's just a detached garage with.
We all have one.
No, my garage doesn't look a thing like that. Mine's attached to the house, and you would not want
to.
You would not want to set foot in it, other than to walk out to the cars. It's a pit right now. But so I'm curious. How did this? Because there's a urban legend to it. I mean, it just has a name, and everybody refers to, if you go out to California, you got to go to the Bat Cave. You got to go to the Bat Cave. But so it's become its own urban legend. I mean, in a way, how did that thing come about? Did you just start putting stuff on the walls that you had collected over the time, or how did?
Yeah, I had my garage decorated, obviously not with hundreds of pictures of bearded men, right? Just in case anyone was wondering. Well, you had your sports flags, you had everything just hanging up.
Go Colts.
That's right. But the whole picture taking came as a joke because, everyone referred to us, you guys look like a bunch of bikers. And when, you see all in the shows where they all have their mug shots posted on the wall. So as a joke, that's how it all started.
Okay.
We started taking these pictures, and we had a sign that said Batcave in the year established, 2015, and people would take that. Anyone who would come into town or anyone in town, all the local guys, and we just started hanging them on the wall as a joke, and it caught fire, and now there's 130, 140. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, and what's funny is, for everybody that's not, so what he's saying is people come visit, hang out at the Batcave. Yes, it's a garage, but it's a decorated garage full of BV stuff. And to your credit, it's got some really cool some one of a kind, and rare BV stuff. So it's almost like it's its own BV historical museum, in a way. That was the first thought I had when I was walking around in there. I was like, okay, Colts. Okay, obviously a Colts fan. I love that. But then I look around and I'm just like, where did this come from? And I mean, anybody that has collected a lot of BV merchandise would know that, we have a habit of, we do collect patches, we collect, pins and things like that, the random stuff that we see. But without sounding too trivial about it, he's got this, a desk that you've got that's in there, and he's got drawers that just have awesome BV stuff hidden away because he has no room on the walls to put it. And it's just, you pull up on a drawer and he's like, yeah, that patch right there was like 2 of those made ever, like back in 2014. And yeah, I have one of them. No big deal. And it's like, it's some random patch stuck in this drawer at the back of a drawer. And I mean, you patch lovers, the people that love patches would freak out to see that. But it's history. It is. It's become the historical destination, a museum of BV.
I think Fred's called it that once before, huh?
Yeah. And it's funny because it got its name from, I think it was a board meeting, and Mayhem asked, oh, so what's going on at the Batcave today? Referring to the house. And I had, that was before I even heard of it. And then I got wind of it, that he was calling it that, and then that name just stuck.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. So, yes, I have been there, and I can say that I've slept there.
He enjoyed his time. He made the most of it.
Like many.
Well, the funny thing is I slept at the Batcave, not due to inebriation, just sheer fat boy being tired, and just and probably the first person to ever sleep upright. I don't know, maybe you have had others, but
well, without alcohol.
Yeah, without alcohol.
Yeah. I was gonna say because we've had a guy.
Marcus always.
We've had a guy fall asleep standing up.
Oh, that's
But
right.
that was from alcohol. So
That was at the old house.
yeah, and this is actually
The second
Batcave.
Oh wow!
We used to have a townhome. That's where it all started. We had a townhome.
You had a Batcave in the townhome.
In the townhome.
Oh geez.
Which was our 3-story townhome, and bottom level was the garage, and that was the Batcave.
And the original pictures were taken at the bottom of our stairs that led up to our home.
Yeah, so if you go through the garage, all the ones with the white or like the off-white background
And
are
they
from
look
the original
horrible.
spot.
Yeah.
They're horrible images.
And now you've got this designated spot in the garage, the side of the Batcave, that's a full-on studio to take these nice pictures with.
Backdrops,
and lights and everything, using your photography background. That's awesome. But yeah, that was a treat. That was really cool. That was one of those things you got to go take your picture at the Batcave. And I will say I was a little dismayed because it seemed like it took an awful long time for me to get my picture.
There's a lot of editing.
And you need to edit a lot for me. Yeah. No.
Sorry about that.
No, it's no. What was funny was that I took them with, of course, the 10 or so guys that were there that night, and as I looked around, I started seeing guys post them on their IG, and okay, he was after me, and he was after me, and I was like, hey, where's my picture? Oh, dude, I thought we already sent that to you. Sorry. I was like, okay, it's okay, no big deal.
When it's such a big group, sometimes I tend to forget.
I'm not blaming
order.
you. I'm blaming him.
Well,
if he's going to be the host,
I have nothing to do with it.
No, it's on me, and then
I invite you guys over.
It's on
The
me.
rest is on her.
yeah,
and
that's my
lets us
fault.
drink your beer, and he has a fully stocked. If you want to,
Oh man.
I won't put his address on here, but you need
No.
to find a way to the Batcave
I don't
and
want random people.
and go thirsty because as I understand it, the fridge is never empty. I don't know how that happens, but I guess when you host so many people on a regular basis, you have to keep it stocked.
Yeah.
So do you have like a Patreon or something like that where people can donate to
it
the Batcave
You're
alcohol
welcome-
fund?
You're welcome to bring beer.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of guys.
Well, then
that
I
show
feel
up
bad
and
that
bring
for
beer.
not bringing beer. I brought myself last time.
I was ready for that. I knew a lot of people were coming over, but
Okay.
then sometimes I get people that like, "Hey, I'm in California. What are you doing?" Wow.
Yeah.
You could have gave me a little warning, like
Yeah.
not the day of, like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah, exactly. You knew that this is World Meat Weekend, so there's going to be people. One of my favorite memories, and it's just a funny, stupid memory that I have from being there, was this epiphany that I had. We're sitting outside. For those of you who live in the Midwest, this will completely be really weird to you. We are sitting out 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 1:30, if not even a little bit later. There is not a bug in the air.
Nope.
I didn't even hear crickets. I didn't hear anything. But it's middle of summer, probably 85, 90, somewhere between 85, 90 degrees out. And we're outside, and I don't have bug spray on. I'm not swatting at anything. It's the craziest thing for somebody that lives here my entire life.
Right.
I would not be outside, anywhere here in the Midwest at 1 o'clock in the morning, middle of summer, 85 degrees, and not swatting at something within the first 30 seconds. And I remember sitting there thinking, what's weird? And it took me a little bit because it was just that weird feeling. I was just like, and I start looking around on the ground. I don't see bugs. I don't see nothing flying. And usually you see like the light that's on, right?
Right.
The light, you see all the
You
little
saw the
gnat
bugs
things.
flying, yeah.
No, I don't even remember that. Nothing biting me. Nothing. I mean, it was, yeah.
It's not very often.
We don't have that out here. we got big other things, but we don't have that. So but I know it's a stupid memory, but it's just one of those things that sticks with me.
Right. Something
Aside
you're
from
not
being
used to.
impressed with all the stuff that was in the Batcave. But very, very cool. Well, man, I know you have you've been a very busy boy, and you're probably going to be getting tired here soon. It's Friday night, and you have flown from LA yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay, and then we're in Indy yesterday. Drove up to Chicago today, and you're going back down to Chicago or to Indy tonight.
Back down to Indy tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when do you head home?
Sunday evening.
Okay. Busy. He's gonna see lots of people. So, anybody that's listening to this in a podcast platform on Saturday or Friday night, and you're in the Midwest, get over to Indiana. Come here. Come over and see Marsola. If you have not seen him, if you've never shook his hand, slapped him on the side of the head, whatever it takes, you need to come to Indianapolis tomorrow, Garfield Park. We're gonna have some fun doing our own virtual version of an MS walk. Because the actual MS walk was postponed per se, but everybody's doing their own version of it. So Joe and Hawksby, the captain and co-captain at Bearded Villains Indiana, decided we're going to do it again virtually and make a fun day of it. So if you're in Indiana and you want to come over, I'm probably not changing any minds right now. People are listening to this later on like next Wednesday, but like, oh, I wish I would have known. Sorry.
I
Sorry.
tried to sway all the Chicago guys today. I was like, you got to
Yeah,
come out.
yeah.
All the ones that couldn't make it today, and there's a lot of them, they can come out.
Yeah.
Enjoy the day.
I don't know.
It's not that far of a drive.
I think they're using. I think they're just using the fact that Chicago is all locked down and just using that as an excuse. You can get out of there. No big deal.
Yeah, we got out.
Yeah, you can get out. If you get out of California, and now we just need the guys in Canada to stop saying the same thing. Of course, they're really locked down up there. So the guys that are here, anything I can do, I will. So I'm looking at comments now. Mr. Puzzle Man, Hector talking it up. I love that dude.
Yeah, I have some good conversations with Hector.
Hector is awesome.
I haven't met him yet. I can't wait. I'm hoping Miami maybe.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to be, is your next one going to be Miami, next event, or are you going to be at any of the other regional events?
As far as a big event, yeah, it'll be Miami.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about that in just a second when I do the promo for the calendar of events that we've got coming up. Well, Megan, Daniel, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Any last words? Anything you want to say to everybody in the YouTube land, in the atmosphere of all YouTube and everything?
Tell your friends. Subscribe. It's a great show.
I got a little thing for that. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. We get it. There it is. Subscribe. It's right over. It's right over Daniel's head. See, it even says subscribe.
Subscribe. Right here.
Yeah, do that one more time. I'll just see. Oh, there we go. There we go.
So now you can use that.
Yeah, I'll clip that out. That's awesome.
Subscribe.
Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. And come out anytime. I'm going to take pictures of you before you guys leave so I can start the tradition here that you started and taking pictures. And I've got a little wall up here that I can at least fit maybe 30 or 40 pictures on.
That's awesome.
I didn't tell the wife that yet, though, so she didn't know that I was going to redecorate the studio again.
Sorry.
But again, ask for forgiveness, not permission. All right, guys. Thanks so much again. And let's get into this little ditty from A Little Beard Company. If I can find it on my board here. Everybody paying attention live, I apologize. It's not loaded correctly. And there it is. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. All right, guys. Thank you. Hector, I do apologize. I thought saying kind words would not make me sleep with the fishes, but apparently that's how you feel about me now. I'm sorry. So sorry. All right, guys, so we're going to slide into our calendar of events. We do have a handful of different things coming up. No matter where you are in the world, you have no excuse for not being where you need to be to go to one of these events, for sure. All right, so calendar of events. May 14th through the 16th is the Mexican meet in Durango, Mexico. Don't have any other details on that right now, but it's in Durango, Mexico. It's the Mexican meet, May 14th through the 16th. May 21st and 22nd is DSV5. DSV5, brought to you by our brothers in South Mississippi. It's in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. As I said, we've got those all sorts of crazy merch out there ready to go. So check it out. Get some merch. Get it now. May 21st, 22nd for DSV5. June 11th and 12th is the West Coast meet in Denver, Colorado. I found out that the West Coast meet is in Denver because they couldn't hold it any further out west because of lockdown. So they stepped up. The boys of Colorado stepped up and said, let us host it. So they're hosting the West Coast meet. Again, that is June 11th and 12th. Also that same weekend, June 11th and 12th, is Knox Villains. Knox Villains, a lot of money was raised by those brothers in Smoky Mountain last year. Knox Villains is the weekend of June 11th and 12th if you're somewhere near the Midwest. If you couldn't tell, that's in Knoxville, Tennessee. Rolling over to New York Upstate, July 16th and 8th through the 18th. July 16th through the 18th, Bearded Villains New York Upstate has their 1 year and counting. It's in Lyons, New York. There's a meet and greet on the 16th with a barbecue. There's a softball game there too. They're having a pig roast on the 17th and then a farewell brunch on the 18th. September 2nd through the 6th is Villain Cruise 5. Now, one of these days I'll find out for sure if this thing is on because I've not heard confirmation either way. But it was on the calendar for the last several months. It's hosted by the Bearded Villains in Finland and Sweden. It's in Barcelona, Spain. That's where I think they're taking off from if they're doing it. September 2nd through the 6th. September 24th through the 26th. I'm going out of order here because my label was wrong. September 24th to the 26th, East Coast Meet is hosted by the Bearded Villains in West Virginia. It's in Parkersburg, West Virginia. September 24th to the 26th. That has been an awesome event as well in past years. Going back the 10 or 12 days before that, September 10th to 12th, the Four Corners meet. That's incidentally the weekend of the 100th broadcast of this show. Four Corners meet, hosted by our brothers in Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. In Cortez, Colorado. Now remember, this event is for brothers only, no significant others, no family members, no kids, maybe pets, but nothing else. Just for brothers. It's a camping event in Cortez, Colorado, September 10th through the 12th. Then August 13th through the 15th. August 13th through the 15th is the Miami International meet. I think it's become international now. In place of the World Meet. August 13th through the 15th. The bros in Miami are going to have that place on fire. They have done an amazing job trying to cater to getting this event in place. So thank you again to you guys down in Miami. 305, always on it. August 13th through the 15th. Then August 14th, the week of August 14th through the 18th, I do have on my calendar that there's going to be a Florida Summit. I don't have any details on that yet. One of you guys in Florida maybe tell me if this is really true or if I'm just spreading bad news. If I'm telling people there's going to be a Florida Summit and there's not, somebody tell me. I don't want people coming back at me later and yelling at me. They probably will anyway, but I don't want to give them more of an excuse than they already need. So, all right, guys, we've had a fun night. I'm just gonna roll on and kick off the end of episode 80. Episode 80, guys. It's gonna do it. It's gonna wrap up episode 80. Remember, you can still buy shirts, patches, pins, all the good stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Guys, as I always say, I want to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because as Jay says, the heart of a villain never stops beating. Finally, guys, as I always tell you, and the most important thing I could say all night, remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So for now, have a great weekend. Enjoy the week ahead. Take care. Stay safe.
Fresh to death is obvious. We get live with the script, high off loops and kick spit rhymes with the b-boy twitch, grabbing my junk and shit like it's 86. Shelly told 3 stripes we on. Hey, you know the B.I. It's BV worldwide fantasy. Stateside across ponds, no borders. I am my brothers, keep your facial features covered. Stay feeling one brotherhood, one ship.